Rise and shine.
Let's go. Let's go, guys.
It's Sunday. You know what that means.
Oh, baby.
Another episode of Sports Scholars. Oh.
Happy Sunday, fellow
Happy
Scholars.
Sunday. I feel like it's been a while, guys.
It has been a while. We only do one episode a week. Whew, feels like forever, man.
Yeah. And, there's some good games going on in the docket today, so let's get right on into it.
Yeah, we already got a big game in Germany going on right now. Seattle and the Bucks.
Yeah, let's check the score of that game, actually.
It was 14-0 last I checked. Tom Brady is doing Tom Brady things. He looks back to normal, and he's throwing the ball really well.
Not a lot of rushing yards, though, from Walker.
No, I should have known. I had this gut feeling. I was
Did you take him on your ticket?
I did, but I had this gut feeling. I'm like, he's gone over 80 yards pretty much the last 4 games since he's taken over. And there's no way he keeps doing this, you know?
I kind of had a feeling too, but yeah. I know I get those, but then when someone's riding hot and they're hitting it for you every week, it's tough to bet against them or not bet for them at all.
Yep.
Plus, I wanted to sprinkle in some Seattle players, and I didn't know who else to take.
Did you take Metcalf?
I did take Metcalf,
right?
But I figured that Walker would be a safe bet because, if they went up at all versus the Bucks, then he would maybe gouge them for... I thought he would end at least the half with 30 yards.
Yeah, and Tampa's been playing pretty badly, so I thought this game would be closer at half, but it's still within distance, and they're talking about they need to run the ball more.
Yeah.
Speaking about being really hot, another successful weekend of making some moolah, eh? We both won tickets this past weekend. On the Sunday Nighter, we made some money.
Which one was that?
The Chiefs game, Chiefs and Tennessee Titans.
That was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, this past week.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this past Thursday night, the game was so frustrating. It was such a trap game.
Oh yeah, last week we definitely made our money back and a little bit of profit. I think we both won out on there. We won on the Chiefs game, which is actually really cool. And then this last Thursday game is just
So we're on a current four weekend winning streak of winning tickets. So I mean, if people are following us faithfully all the way through, there's no way you haven't been making any money, any side hustle. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited. It's already week 10 already.
Oh my God, football season flies by way too quickly. Typically, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, there he is.
I hate how fast football goes through the year, and it feels forever until it comes back.
Yeah.
What are we looking at now? We didn't do Seattle Bucks games, but let's jump right into the Sunday games. Let's jump right into a banger. Minnesota Buffalo.
Ooh.
That's going to be a banger.
So this one, usually this would be an absolute flamer, but Josh Allen is expected to play, I guess. He's questionable. But even with questionable, I mean, do they risk not injuring his shoulder more or whatever injury I think it is? I think it's an upper body injury. Do they run the ball more against Minnie, or do they just play Josh Allen like he's regular Josh Allen, right?
I think Josh Allen's a pretty tough guy. I feel like he might not run the ball as often, though.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
It might not be because of the lack of it, but it might just be like them saying, hey, let's sit him in the pocket a little bit more, get the ball out quickly, and mitigate hits on Josh Allen, because Josh Allen goes down.
Yeah.
Buffalo goes from a 6-2 team.
Yeah.
They are facing a very good 7-1 Minnesota. I feel like if they weren't playing Minnesota this week, they would have benched them.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's a 7-1 Minnesota team that they're playing, their odds of winning without Josh Allen significantly decreased. It puts them at 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing the right thing for the team. Guy's a beast.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're definitely going to they have to take some measures of precaution, because Josh Allen goes down this week against a very good Minnesota defense that's added Zadarius Smith, that has Danielle Hunter fresh. People are going to be asking questions why they even started him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So
what do you like him for pick'ems in this game?
Oh, so for props, I don't think there was any Allen props when I looked.
No, but for pick'em.
I'm gonna actually go with I'm gonna go with Buffalo.
Buffalo at home.
Buffalo at home.
Yep.
Barring a Josh Allen injury. If there's a Josh Allen re-injury, I think Minnesota can take it away from them.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But you're taking the same thing, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Josh Allen, there's only passing yards for him right now at 260.
Yeah.
And there's passing touchdowns at 1.5. There's no
Okay.
passing attempts or pass completions.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you thinking now for props?
So even though he keeps going over 7 almost every single week, they still are putting Diggs at 6.5, which I think is
Is there actually Diggs props now for?
yeah, he's 6.5 and
He wasn't there when I looked. But okay.
and he's 81 yards now.
Okay.
He's kind of a matchup proof. Like every week, he's good for. He could easily hit over 80 and over 6.5. I don't mind doubling up on Diggs, and I don't mind doubling up on Justin Jefferson this week at 6.5. And I know that Tre'Davious White is back now, but Jefferson's a generational talent, and Kirk Cousins, I could see them. Buffalo's one weakness on defense is that they are more susceptible to the run, so they could rush Dalvin Cook more. I think T.J. Hawkinson's probably going to get shut down by Matt Milano and the number 1 ranked linebacking crew in Buffalo there.
Yeah.
So Jefferson, I don't know if I'll double up, but I would take either his passing yards at 83.5 or his receptions at 6.5. That's what I would be going with in that one.
So what would your final ticket look like for this game here?
Diggs double up. Jefferson, you can pick and choose either receptions or yards. I'm good with either or. I don't think I would double up. I like Dalvin Cook rushing yards. And I like Josh Allen over 260 passing yards.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm going very opposite with this game here, guys. So Josh Allen a little bit injured. I think field goals over 2.5.
Ooh.
I'm going to take double up on Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to double up on Kirk Cousins. Over 241.5 passing yards and 21.5 completions.
Damn.
I'm thinking that if they do go down to the Bills, they're going to be slinging it. Kirk Cousins is he's got a new weapon in T.J. Hawkinson, so that's gonna just help his numbers and help his pass completions. I'm also gonna go a very spicy Matthew favorite of Devin Singletary over 49.5 rushing yards.
I hate that man.
Yeah, and I think part of that is that if Allen does go down or is inhibited in any capacity, then they do have to run the ball. And if they do go up in any capacity, they're going to try and keep Allen off the field. And I think they're going to have to try to run the clock out. So you might see some good yardage from Singletary.
Not a bad pick, guys, at all.
Yeah.
Current update in the Buccaneers game in Germany. It's 14-3 now. Seattle has a deceptively good defense this year. Everyone thought that they were going to be really bad. They've improved since the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
That game's going to be tight. Yeah.
With Seattle? I don't know. If the Bucs score here, then Seattle's got to move the ball. I don't see Kenneth Walker hitting his over now, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, he's 7 carries for 8 yards. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, that's 1.1. So unless he breaks out for a 70-yard run,
yeah, it's not gonna happen in that one.
So that one might break my ticket there.
Unfortunately.
But otherwise, yeah, I think the Bucs are looking like they're going to take this one, just moving down the field. Now, let's move on to the next game here. We got Detroit-Chicago. That's a classic, right? This is going to be a pretty interesting game when it comes to what's going to happen. And I got a pretty interesting ticket for it as well. So Let's kick it off, Nat. This time you can do the pick'em, and I will start with the prop ticket, and then we'll go back and forth.
I don't know who's taking this one, guys. Detroit's at home. Chicago's looking like a new team. They've unlocked Justin Fields now. He's an absolute monster right now, and he's got new weapons. He's got Claypool now. Chicago's a completely different team. They're going up against the worst-ranked run defense and pass defense, the worst defense in the league. This one should be a high-scoring game, I would think. The over-under is 48.5, so 50 points, so 25-25. I could easily see it being something close to that.
Yeah.
So if they're expecting I might redo my ticket. I did this early in the morning trying to get better odds. So now Justin Fields has gone like nuclear now with his rushing and stuff. So they've shot him up from 45 that he was last week to now 60 rushing yards. I do have him on my one ticket at 60 rushing yards, but I'm just thinking like against Detroit, they might be able to throw it more. And Herbert and Montgomery had horrible games last week. Like somebody's going to take carries off Fields. I don't think Fields is going to go off again for 60 rushing yards. He doesn't need to. He's not in a game where I don't expect a lot of negative game script for him, but he could. I have him on my ticket, guys. It's not a bad play, but I might take that off because I'm just, in my gut, I just have this feeling that he's not going to hit that today. I do like his rushing attempts at 9.5. I think he runs the ball at least 10 times today.
Yeah.
They got Claypool at 2.5. You know, Claypool's still learning the playbook and stuff. I like his old, reliable Darnell Mooney. He's got more of a connection with. Mooney has gone over 3.5 for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I like Mooney at his receptions and receiving at 43.5. And I don't trust Swift is apparently fully healthy. And it's really frustrating because I have Swift in fantasy. And they're like, Dan Campbell's like, yeah, you know, maybe we'll get him a couple more reps this week. It's like, what does a couple more reps mean? Like, the guy is your best player, but they love Jamal Williams. I can't trust Jamal Williams at 60 rushing yards now. Chicago can get beat on the ground. That's probably what Detroit's going to do, try to run the ball a lot. But I don't trust any running back in this game. I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown, 6.5 receptions. That's my ticket, guys. So I got Fields, rushing attempts, Mooney double up, and Amon-Ra St. Brown receptions. And I might sprinkle Fields rushing yards. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. We have complete opposite picks for this game. I think Fields, he had a huge week last week. I think there's a bit of an overreaction with people thinking that that was his, blow up party, and then now he's going to be.
Miami's a pretty bad defense.
Super good.
Yeah.
I watched that game. It was a little bit weird. They weren't really closing in on him. He had a little bit more open attempts for passing, a little bit more yardage.
Miami's a bad defense.
So, yeah, and so is the Lions, but I'm actually going to take 3 for this one here, and probably parlay it with a different game because there's some really bad games today.
Yeah.
I actually have Fields over rushing yards of 59.5.
Okay. So we were thinking alike.
I think he will hit that. I think he's still going to be a quarterback that is run first over pass first. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, his completions have shot up to 15.5, which is laughable to think that, that's high for any quarterback. But for Fields, it is. And it's a little bit even higher than his norm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go back to the overreaction that we're seeing here. Fields has hit over 15.5 twice this year. That was the last 2 games, and he hit 17 in those 2 games. Now, he rushed for at least 60 yards in both those games as well. Obviously, he rushed for 178 last game. I don't think that he makes 16 completions this game, so I'm going the under on his completions.
Just run, eh?
I think you look at the props, you have Fields set at 50 or 60. You have Montgomery set at 60. You have Khalil Herbert set at 50. Yeah. You look at the game script and how they're going to play this game. I think they're just going to run the ball. Mm-hmm. The clock's going to be going down a lot. I don't think this is going to be as high a scoring game as people think it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. That's a great take.
And then the last one is, I think it's really juicy odds at 23.5 receiving yards for DeAndre Swift. I'm starting him this week. He doesn't have injury designation. I don't think they're going to run the ball with him too much because, I'm looking at the fact that, Jamal Williams is probably still going to spearhead that. Yeah. But Chicago's ranked 31st against the running backs in terms of PPR. And we're looking at DeAndre Swift. This season, the games that he's played, he's got 3 receptions for 31 yards. 2 receptions for 31 yards, 3 for 4 for 15, 5 for 5 for 27, and 3 for 4 for 40.
So all but one game he's hit.
All but one game he's hit over 23.5.
Wow.
And even to go on top of that as well, just one more kind of point to add is that it always does make me feel good when reception-wise his props set at a juicy 3.5. So they're thinking he hits under that, but if he goes over that or even hits 3, I think we can go 3 receptions for 24 yards.
Guys, this is why him and I are such a great team, because we bounce off each other. I didn't even think about like the Swift receptions, and that's a great prop. Seriously, man.
So I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm now in terms of pick 'em on this game, I'm going to take I'm going to take the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not a bad pick.
They're coming off a hot streak, and I think they can make it happen.
That's not a bad pick, man. Yep. Alrighty.
So next game on the docket.
What do we got? It's still 14-3, guys, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter for the Bucs.
Oh my God, Tariq Woolen interception.
Yep.
He intercepted Leonard Fournette.
No, you don't hear that every day.
That's right. Matty traded for Lenny.
No. Hey, Lenny got a touchdown. He's still better than Eckler.
No, he's not. Not even close, buddy. Not even close. Okay, so what are we thinking next here? What's the next game on the docket?
So I'm really excited about this game. Browns and Miami.
Browns, yeah, this is going to be a great game.
The over-under is 49.5. I don't think it's going to hit that. I don't think it's going to hit 50. I think that's a little bit of an overreaction. But I'm really excited. A lot of star power in this game. Who do you have in this one, brother?
So I'm smashing the Nick Chubb over 79.5.
Really?
Nick Chubb's matchup proof. It's way too fun to watch run the ball. So I'm taking him because that's who I want to take. I don't even care what the matchup was. If you said Nick Chubb at 79.5, I am taking it.
Right.
Amari Cooper, 64.5. This is more of a fantasy guy for me. I own Amari Cooper, so I want him to go over 64.5. Then I got Jalen Waddle at 67.5. The reason why I'm taking the Waddle is because he'll set at a ridiculous
96 yards.
96 yards.
Yeah.
That is an extremely high number.
How many times is he going to have 100 yards every game?
That's just, I get it. The guy's an animal.
Yeah.
I have him on my fantasy team. I love him.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's going to do something this game.
Yeah.
Just, I can't put money on a ticket that I want to win at 100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like a lot. With Nick Chubb, he's actually very consistent, and you don't see the type of props that you see for players like Derrick Henry last year, players like Jonathan Taylor last year, where they're putting him at
over
1 out of 10, 105.
Yeah.
But he's just as good a running back.
He is. Yeah.
So, to me, this is the Mark Andrews thing with Kelsey. It's, if you're setting this guy at 80, I'm going to take it.
Until
Walker is set the same as against the Bucs as Chubb is set against Miami.
Yeah, that's insane.
To me, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're talking about a rookie that he's got maybe 3 games he's done good versus the leading rusher in the NFL,
you're right,
almost 3 years in a row. Yeah. So I'm taking Nick Chubb all day.
Yep.
And then I'm doubling up on Tua completions and passing yards. I think, that one's a little bit risky. The passing yards is 280.
He's climbing now every week.
He might go under that, but you set Tyreek Hill at 100 yards. You set Jalen Waddle. You talk about the pass completions, the amount of times they're going to be passing this game. I want to stay away from the Miami running backs. Everyone's saying pick them. I don't know which one to pick, so I don't want to pick them. I'm just hoping that it becomes more of a passing game.
Yeah. Great picks.
Yeah. What are you thinking for that one there?
Kind of the same line. I was looking at Chubb and I'm like, 80 yards? This guy is elite talent, man. But I don't know. I'm reading a lot of articles. They're being like, Miami's going to 8-man box and, their secondary can get beaten. So I might cancel my ticket and take Saf's advice, and you can't bet against Chubb. So originally I had Brissett over 225.5. I think he could hit that easily.
I think that's great.
Tua is the most accurate passer in the game right now, so taking his completions is kind of a no-brainer, I would think, at 23.5. I took Tua over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Nice.
I double up on Waddle, 67.5, 5.5 receptions. This one here, I was looking at... I was looking on Twitter, and a lot of people were saying... A sneaky pick right now is Donovan Peoples-Jones at 46.5. He's hit that in the last 5 straight games.
Wow.
With Brissett. Brissett, he loves Donovan Peoples-Jones, man. And he's a sneaky pick that nobody's really talking about on that team. Everyone talks about Chubb and Cooper. And I did have Tyreek Hill at 7.5 receptions. I agree with you. His yards is a lot. Tyreek Hill's one of those guys where he just takes little dump offs and can turn those into little slant passes, can turn those into massive gains.
Yeah.
I might change that ticket, guys. I might put Chubb in there instead of maybe Tyreek or Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah,
I don't know
this
yet.
is a tough ticket, guys, because we know stuff are going to hit.
Yeah.
It's just which ones are going to hit in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at my ticket and I'm thinking to myself, fuck, like, Tua at 280 is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, Cooper at 64.5 is a lot. And maybe take out Tua, putting in Brissett there is not a bad idea. But then again, Brissett
is brutal.
It's just Miami's the worst versus the quarterbacks in the entire NFL when it comes to passing yards. Mm-hmm. Or just fantasy points. They're 32nd out of 32nd. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking to myself, can I take Brissett and Chubb? I don't know if I can do both of them.
Yeah, I don't. Me neither, man.
You
have to go with the game script.
See, there's going to be a game script in this one, and that game script's going to hit.
Yeah.
So
I agree with
that. That's going to be really tough for me to kind of figure out what's going on there. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to stick with my gut feeling on this one. Also, the 2 pass completions is actually a little bit dangerous. I didn't realize how dangerous it is until I just checked it up now. But Tua's only
24?
gone. He's only gone over 24 twice all season. That was against Detroit when he went for 400 yards, and against Baltimore where he went for 470 yards in an overtime game.
Right.
Every other game this season, he's hit under 24 completions.
But he left one of those games, right? Or a couple of those games.
Left
right?
one of those
Injured,
games.
concussion.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And
even last week versus Chicago, 300 yards.
Yeah.
21 completions.
And Cleveland can get beaten in the air, right?
Yeah, they're middle of the pack.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Walker's finally gone over 10 yards.
Yeah, nice to see, eh? He's only got 70 more to go. Let's go.
There we go.
All right, next game. Broncos and Titans.
This is a game that I would probably mix with my Chicago ticket, guys, because I just don't like these teams for playing. Mm-hmm. 3 easy ones for me. I think the Titans take it. Wilson's garbage, and I don't think that's going to change. Wilson is just, the guy's laughable. Multi-millionaire, richer than I will probably ever be, but just laughably, And
he does mad push-ups on the airplane.
Yeah, he's just so cringe. 2.5 field goals for both teams combined.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at this. Derrick Henry, 99.5 rushing yards.
So 100 yards.
I'll take it, whatever.
I'm taking the under on Derrick Henry.
You're taking the under on Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm. I think he finishes around 85 yards and he scores a touchdown. So I have a anytime touchdown Derrick Henry under. This is my first under of the day, guys. 100 rushing yards. I think he's going to get 90. Denver's defense is ranked number 1 against both the pass and the rush. And as good as Derrick Henry is, Tannehill's back. Tannehill's garbage. This is a risky one, but it's my first under of the day. I'm feeling confident in Henry under 100. I think he comes close, but I don't think he hits 100. 100's a lot, even for the best running back in football. What else do you have?
I just want to check one thing really
Okay.
quickly.
While he's doing that, I'll go through the rest of my picks.
That's it. That's all I had, guys.
Okay. I liked Cortland Sutton has screwed me too many times, and Jerry Jeudy seems like the more Russell Wilson friendly receiver right now. He's hit over 50 yards in 4 or 5 of the last 5 games. So I like Jeudy receiving yards. I'm going against Saf on this one. I think Wilson at 230 against one of the worst pass defenses in the league is a good hit at 230. I think he should. I'm not surprised if he doesn't hit it, but I think this is a game that Wilson coming off the bye week, he's got to step up, man. And Tennessee is ranked number 2 against the run. They're another stout run defense. Denver's not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to pass it. Wilson has to throw the ball. So I'm taking that. And a little sprinkle on top. I have him in fantasy, but I also like his ceiling. Greg Dulcich at 43.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really cool ticket, Matt.
Yeah,
that's a really interesting. The Henry under is an interesting one.
Yeah. It's just my gut feeling.
His rush attempts is set at an interesting one as well.
Is it?
24.
24 rush attempts.
Now.
24 rush attempts?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So that's but just to kind of put it in perspective, looking at Henry's always going to be an amoeba of just tidbits. He hit 32 times 17 times last game, 32 times against Houston, 30 times against Indianapolis, 28 times against Washington, 22 times against Indianapolis, and then 20 times against the Raiders. He's gone over 100 yards 5 games in a row. So you're thinking this is the week he goes back down. What are you thinking, more of like a 20 rush attempts, 88 yards? Kind of like he did against the Raiders.
Even if he hits 24, I don't think that he hits 100 yards this game. That's just my feeling.
Yeah.
He could screw me, very well could screw me, but yeah.
I also have Cortland Sutton at 3.5 receptions in that match, guys.
You're going back to the well on Mr. Sutton, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What's next, brother?
So the next team we have on the docket is...
Whew, I'm excited, boys. Let's get some girls. Let's get some football.
Jacksonville, Kansas City.
Woo! What's the over-under set on that one?
So the over-under...
51.5.
That's a lot.
Woo! Trap game, guys. Trap game.
Could be a trap game for
Trap game. Look at the odds. Look how high they are. 304. Like Kelsey. Oh, my God. Of course. Kelsey, 80 yards. 6.5. Frig, man.
So, I fully expect to lose this ticket, guys, but I'm going for it anyways. I'm going double up on Kelsey, Etienne, rushing and receiving, 102, and Pat Mahomes pass attempts, and Christian Kirk receiving yards.
Christian Kirk receiving yards.
64.5, 38.5 for Pat Mahomes pass attempts, 80.5 receiving yards for Kelsey, 6.5 receptions for Kelsey, and 102.5 rushing and receiving for Etienne.
Damn.
Which is a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah. You're crazy. Yeah. I love it. I love your big nuts today.
Yeah.
Etienne's rushing and receiving does worry me because he hasn't really been getting the pass catching work that he should be. I like Trevor Lawrence at 17.5 rushing yards.
Nice.
Etienne at 80.5. I do like that one as well.
He's been running like crazy right now.
Yeah. Do you not think that KC's going to game plan to try and bottle him up though?
I think they will, and I think that's why I'm taking his rushing and receiving, just in case they do like some sort of dump pass and he explodes for 60 yards. That doesn't just go to waste. I don't want to take either his receiving or just his rushing, which is why I'm taking both. Yeah. I think he's still going to be the focus point of that offense. I just don't know how he's going to do it, but I think he's going to make some plays.
I saw on Twitter some people were taking Trevor Lawrence under 37 pass attempts.
Yeah.
He hasn't hit that in like a bunch of weeks.
Yeah.
Might not be a bad one. I agree with you on the Patty Mahomes pass attempts. They don't trust any running back on that team right now. and Patty Mahomes throws it a shit ton. I like Mahomes in the air, so I like his passing yards. I like his attempts. I like his passing touchdowns at 2.5.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
Man, Rachaad White is looking like a guarantee. I touched on this guy last week, guys. He's now up to 14 carries and 65 rush yards. And then, this guy's looking like a slam dunk for your rushing and receiving.
I told you his rushing and receiving was only at 48. I was going to hit that, man.
Yeah.
I guess just to finish up, I like Kelsey double up. And, that's what I'm going with for that ticket.
So you're just going Kelsey double up.
Mahomes
pass attempts or touchdowns or
attempts, passing yards, and I like Trevor Lawrence rushing yards at 17.5.
Jesus, what a weird ticket there.
What a weird ticket that is,
I'm taking Kansas on this one here.
Me too. The receivers scare me on KC because there's no Kadarius Toney yet, and you know that he's going to be more involved. So I go with Juju, who's pretty reliable, but he's 5.5 now instead of 4.5. And Kadarius Toney is when they don't include a player, it's sneaky. They're trying to be like, oh, people are going to forget about that they have this player, right? Tony's going to be more involved this game, but Kelsey's always going to get his. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's how they're going to move the ball down the fields with Kelsey this game.
Yeah.
Next game, we got the very exciting Houston Texans versus the New York Giants.
Right.
So,
enough said. Giants are a great story this year, just like the Jets, man. It's finally New York fans have something to cheer about. Those poor suffering fans.
So I got a fun one for this one here.
I'm sure you do.
It's just Dameon Pierce over 81.5, Barkley over 92.5, and 2.5 field goals.
Okay. This game is predicted to be wet and rainy. Those aren't bad picks. Pierce. Every time I bet against him, he goes off. This is one of those Kenneth Walker situations where it's like, how many times can he keep going over 80 yards? I know that he's a beast, but this is the one game where I'm pumping the brakes on Dameon Pierce. I think the Giants have a really stout run defense.
They do.
And I think that they're going to force Davis Mills to throw the ball more. I love that they're finally giving Barkley some respect. I mean, he was sitting in the 80s for 8 weeks straight. We were getting spoiled with that prop. Now he's at 92. Texans have one of the worst run defenses.
Yeah.
He's going to gash that if he stays healthy. So I'm taking Barkley over, staying away from Pierce. I like your field goal prop. Am I trusting any of the wide receivers today? There's no Brandon Cooks. He's playing. There's no props for him. No Nico Collins. I don't understand why there's no props for them. Daniel Jones, I don't trust any of those. Maybe Davis Mills over 31.5 passing attempts. Other than that, and maybe an interception for Davis Mills. But those aren't locks. Those are just if you're feeling it in your gut, little sprinkle picks, guys. We're not trying to mislead you and go off this might happen. This is if it's a gut feeling that I think this is going to happen,
And what do you have for Pick'em that game? You taking Houston or you taking the Giants?
Oh, Giants rebound for sure.
Yeah,
they lost last week. There's no way they're losing to Houston.
Taking the Giants, guys.
If they do, that'd be a huge upset, I think.
All right, next game we got is New Orleans versus Pittsburgh. You can start off on the docket on this one.
Okay.
Here.
Update in the game. Fourth quarter just started, and the Bucs are at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Kenneth Walker, 9 carries for 17 yards. If he busts out for a 50-yarder, then they're still in it. Oh, man, Metcalf, 6 for 71. I knew Lockett was going to get shut down. He's only 1 for 11. Rachaad White's looking good. Fournette's looking good. Of course, Godwin and Evans are both going off. Brady at 21 completions. His completion prop was set at 40. I don't think he's hitting that now.
No. Attempts, you mean?
Attempts.
Yeah.
There's no way he's hitting 20 more in this quarter.
When he's up, no. They're going to run the ball. It's crazy how they have 30 rush attempts and 16 is White.
Yeah.
That's not good for Fournette, man.
No, it's a 50-50 split now.
Yeah.
I lost that trade in that league, but you know what? I didn't draft my team. Bucky, draft my team. You draft me a pretty decent team. Some of those guys I wouldn't have drafted, but you know what? I appreciate you doing that for me. And the team's not doing too well, so I'm kind of just giving up on that team. Saints and Steelers. What do you got, bud?
No, it's your go. Your go. Let's hear Maddie's go. I'm taking the Saints to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, they're still in the playoff hunt. You know, they're still trying to win.
Yeah.
Najee Harris coming out of the bye, he has looked absolutely brutal. He's been dealing with an injury, but 47 is kind of disrespectful for him. And New Orleans run defense isn't as stout as it's been in past years. I think it's disrespectful even for a player of Najee's talent. I know that he's been a bust this year, but at less than 50 yards, I got to take Najee Harris in this one at 47 rushing yards. I have to, man.
Yeah. That's so low for him, man.
It's kind of disrespectful, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, 102 rushing and receiving yards. His rushing is at 65.5. TJ Watt is back now. I might take sacks over in that one.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well, guys. Nice. You got sacks over Najee Harris.
I'll get back to you on some other ones if I see some good ones, but you go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I would be picking probably TJ Watt to get a sack in this game. And then I like Kenny Pickett over passing yards and George Pickens double up. And the risky one would be maybe Alvin Kamara rushing and receiving. This is a crazy ticket though, guys. So,
yeah.
So definitely a crazy one there.
Yeah, I'm not putting a lot of stock into this one. Sacks are at 5.5. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a weird game, man.
Absolutely.
Now we're into the late afternoon games. What do we got there, Fal? Colts and Raiders. Oh boy, the new regime in Indianapolis. They're saying that they're not tanking, but they just hired a first-time coach with no coaching experience. Kind of weird. New offensive coordinator, banged up Jonathan Taylor. This just writes scary, in my opinion, on the Colts side. Eulinger, he is bad. In 2 starts, he looks really bad, or he made the Patriots look like gods. I don't know. No Renfrew, no Waller this game. A lot of key injuries. Colts are very good against the run. Those are some stats I'd like to bring up. Based off that, how do you base your picks off of, my friend?
Yikes. I haven't really done much for this one here, guys, but if you're looking at rushing, Jonathan Taylor at 71.5, I think that's pretty low for him.
Very risky. Very risky.
I think that's risky. I do like Devontae Adams this game as well.
I like Devontae Adams as well.
And then I probably like...
Are you doubling up on Adams or just taking his receptions or...
No, I would probably double up if I'm taking Devontae Adams, and then I like sacks over.
Sacks over in this one. That actually isn't a bad play. Honestly, guys, Jonathan Taylor set at a good number. Yes, he's extremely risky because he didn't play last week. He's dealing with this weird injury. Maybe the Raiders, take it easy on him, and they're like, oh, we'll see what he can do, or they stack the box and force Eulinger to throw the ball. If Jonathan Taylor doesn't hit 71.5 against this defense, then I have little hope in him rest of the season. I'm scared for his outlook. So I'm going with Taylor in this one as well, over on his rushing yards.
Chris Godwin, 4-yard touchdown from Tom Brady.
Yeah. I took a dart throw ticket today just for fun on a bunch of anytime touchdown guys for multiple games. I took Mike Evans as an anytime touchdown, and it's not looking like he's going to get that. Hey, I just threw a 20 on it. I'm like, hey, whatever. It pays out like $500. I'm like, whatever. I saw on Twitter somebody was like, this is a YOLO, and I think this is going to hit. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't usually do that, but, it's fun. It's for fun.
All right, what else we got going on? I'm going to take, by the way, on that game, guys, if I had to pick a team to win, I'm actually going to take the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, who would have thought coming into the season this game would be one of the scarier games to bet on with two of the worst teams. Nobody thought these two guys were going to be really bad, but love the Raiders in this one, and that's what I'm going with as well. Raiders at home in the Death Star today.
All right, what else do we got kind of going on there, Maddie?
Cardinals Rams. This one is turning out sounding like it's going to be a dud because Matthew Stafford is game time decision. They're leaning more towards he's not starting today.
Matthew Stafford is not starting?
Yeah. And Kyler Murray is also a game time decision, so we might end up seeing backups today. That's why there's no quarterback props for anybody because they're afraid that they're thinking that both quarterbacks might not play, and if they do play, they're playing hurt. That's always scary. This is going to be I don't think I'm putting a lot of money on this game, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, maybe Cup, maybe Hopkins, and honestly, like there's not much props. Other than that, I'd probably stay away from everything else.
Yeah.
I'm probably taking the Rams in that game, though, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, Rams?
No, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one.
My Cowboys and the Packers.
This one should be somewhat fun, but not a great fun one for props fans.
I swear to God, if my Cowboys lose, I know they're going into Lambeau, but if they lose to Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to be pissed.
I like Dak Prescott passing yards. I like Aaron Jones rushing and receiving, or actually just rushing yards at 48.5. And other than that, I also like sacks at 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, and field goals.
Yeah. Field goals isn't a bad one, guys. I like Dalton Schultz at 35 receiving yards. I like Alan Lazard at 54.5 receiving yards. I like Schultz at 3.5 receptions, so I would double up on him. Ezekiel Elliott, he's a game time decision. That one's scary. Green Bay is pretty bad to get on the ground, so there's no Pollard or Zeke. I might wait till right before the game to see if any Pollard things come up. Might smash Pollard if Zeke's not playing. That's probably a good prop right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like you said, there's not great props in this one. These afternoon games are a little
brutal actually.
Yikes.
And then the last
great Sunday nighter though.
Yeah, the Sunday nighters, the Chargers versus the 49ers.
It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be the last one, guys. So, let's get psyched. I'm thinking the Chargers take this one against the 49ers. Ooh. Just because I like the Chargers. Herbert's one of my favorite players, guys. So, and I'm going to take Justin Herbert over 252.5 passing yards. I'm going to also take... Holy moly, indeed, I'm going to take Josh Palmer over 54.5 receiving yards. I'm going to... Oh, my God. Holy shit. McCaffrey set at 120 rushing and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Kenneth Walker, 23 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Receiving.
Oh, perfect.
Then other than that, I will take... maybe rushing and receiving of Austin Eckler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then finally, I'm probably looking at... what's the match sacks for this one here? 4.5 sacks? I can see it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what do you think?
I feel like this is going to be a ground and pound game for San Fran. They know that the Chargers are susceptible on the ground. They're a little bit better in the secondary. So I'm taking McCaffrey, rushing yards, 80.5. I'm taking Eckler, rushing and receiving. I might debate between either Garoppolo over 1.5 rushing yards or Herbert over 6.5 rushing yards. All it takes is one scramble and they get that, but I'm crazy that way.
He's crazy.
For the receivers, Debo's back. I don't know. That one's scary. If I'm taking McCaffrey with my expected predicted game script of pure rushing, I'm taking Garoppolo under 244 passing yards. And I'm taking Herbert over 38.5 pass attempts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great, man. Great ticket. Well, guys, that wraps up all of the games. Holy moly, that was a pretty long one.
Yep.
But for Monday night, we're going to be tweeting about it because all the props change. Hope you have a good Sunday. Typically, thanks for dropping by. And, another episode of Sports Scholars, my friend. Let's get it going. Hopefully we win some money today, man. Last week when we broke even, so we need to go ahead this week. All right, cheers.